Alright, welcome to Old World Gaming. This is the second and hopefully last video painting my squig hoppers. Last episode I focused on painting the skin for the squigs. I was very pleased with how it turned out. It was much better than I kind of was anticipating, because I was kind of going for a much quicker method than I'd done on Walloper and his one-hit wonder. I also started to paint the bases while I was waiting for some stuff to dry. We did the cloaks as well, a bit of a dry brush to give them some grey cloaks. Yeah, in the background you might be able to notice my my Nurgle army for my chaos. If you haven't seen the video that I did the other day, and you want to know how I made them, go check it out. But today we are doing the squigs. I've got this guy as well here because I'm doing yellow armor like I've done on this guy, so I kind of want him as a bit of a reference to kind of remind me how to do it. So yeah, so there we are. I think I'll probably start by doing like the gums on these guys first, and the teeth, maybe their eyes. I guess while I'm doing the teeth, I'll do their whatever they're called, nails, claws. Yeah, I'll do their claws bone. I mean, I could go black, but I'll do them bone. Oh no, look, I've got red all over his lance. Never mind. Oh, you can't see that because I wasn't holding it on screen. Red all over his lance. Yeah, so I think I'll do gums and teeth first, and then I'll move on to these guys, and I'll do their skin and then their armor. I'm going to try and get away with doing as little as possible, but making them look finished. Just because I'm conscious this could end up being another 4-hour video. I mean, you already know how long it is because you've clicked on it. I haven't recorded it yet, so I've got no idea how long this video is going to be. So there you go, you've got one up on me. But yeah, so gums, teeth, skin, then armor, and then we'll see where we are from there. That's the bulk of them. They've got some random things on their bases that I'm not really sure necessarily what to do with, but I'll work that out when I get closer. Obviously they've got stones on their bases. But yeah, there we are. Right, so let's get cracking. I think let's put these over to the side so I've got a bit of space to work on the first guy. So yeah, gums first. Now, although I do want to do kind of a Rhinox hide layer on the armor, so I might do that first actually, and then maybe give that a bit of time to dry if it needs it. So let's start Rhinox hide, and I'll probably do their skin as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having these guys done. They've been sitting here looking at me, and I don't know, kind of intimidating me. I don't know what it is. I feel like for some reason squigs are a bit intimidating to paint, but they were fine in the last episode. I mean, it has obviously taken me a little while to do them, but I can't really complain. 4 hours is probably okay. But yeah, so there we go. Intimidated me anyway. I don't really know why. But yeah, finally getting around to it. So this is good. I've been sidetracked by other things, but there we go. So in the Chaos episode, I mentioned that I'd written off to Games Workshop, sent an email to them asking about a rules query, because I know you can do that, but I got a response saying actually they're not able to answer that, so so to look out for an FAQ, but they've passed my query on to to the team so it can go in an FAQ in future. So now I've kept you in suspense long enough. My query was around the 0 to 1,000 restriction for certain things in an army. So under previous editions, the kind of that was for stopping you taking like too many rare units or whatever in lower points, or certainly 6th and 7th. I had no idea how it was used in 8th, so maybe that's the disconnect. Maybe it's used in 8th, how people are saying it's used in Old World. But yeah, let me carry on explaining where I've been kind of going with it. So, for example, in 6th edition, you had, like, in your first, in your army, you could take, I don't know, you had to have minimum of 2 core, was it? You know what, I've got the book down here. Let me just open it on the page. So I can reference it while I'm painting. He says, now I'm flicking through this book. I get distracted so easy. Appendix 2, making an army. I thought that's what it was. Okay, well, I'm just going to quickly flash it up on the screen. You can pause it if you like. So here you go. That's Lords. Where's the troops? Here you go. So two troops, then 0 to 3 special units, 0 to 1 rare units. So that's if your army was less than 2,000 points. So until you hit that marker, you could take no more than 3 special units and no more than 1 rare. So that's the approach that I've been making army lists for. So it says per 1,000 points, you can take 0 to, I don't know, 0 to 2 goblin bolt throwers, for example. Yeah, so to my mind, that is, until your army reaches 1,000 points, you can take a maximum of 2 bolt throwers. And then for every 1,000 points after that, you can increase your number of bolt throwers by 2. So in a 500 point army, you could take 2. In a 1,000 point army, you can take 2. In like a 2,000 point army, you can take 4. So that's the approach that I have been taking. But I've seen like chatter on Facebook saying that it doesn't work like that. So yeah, so I wrote to the that was the query basically that I sent off to Games Workshop, and they haven't answered it. They have passed it over to the team, which is fair enough. If you don't know the answer, that's what I wanted. I wanted the Old World team to tell me, not some person who doesn't know the answer, which is fair. I'd much rather they do that than just tell me something that's wrong. Does this guy? I don't think he's got armoured boots on. I think he's just wearing shoes. Okay, so I think that's fine. I guess I could do his belt as well. This is probably strictly not necessary, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay, so he's got his belt done, he's got his armour done. I'm not going to do his lance yellow, unlike the other guy whose lance I did DI. These guys are just staying black. There's only so much time I really want to have to put into these guys. They're still technically just a troop, like a unit of troops. They're not characters, so they can, yeah, they just get what they're given. Yeah, so to further discuss this issue, so I've seen like people saying, oh, you do 1,999 points, so you don't hit the second 2,000 and go up. But I mean that sounds like nonsense to me anyway. Yeah, so let's take our 500 point scenario as an example. If I'm to believe that the 0 to X per 1,000 is only kicks in at your first 1,000 points, and you can't take anything that's 0 to 1,000 unless you've got 0 to something, unless you've got 1,000 points in your army. And the reason for that is to stop you taking stuff that's too hard in a small army. One are bolt throwers, like goblin bolt throwers. Am I to believe that you can't take a goblin bolt thrower at like 40 points or something is too overpowered for you to take in an army that's less than 1,000 points? That sounds like nonsense to me. Okay, so just putting that out there. Goblin bolt thrower, I'm not buying it. Okay, so I've got no problem with you limiting it to 2 for every 1,000 points that you take. So once you've hit 1,000 points or gone over 1,000 points, you can take another 2. But until you've hit your first 1,000 points, you can only take 2. So that sounds fine. Like, sure, I'm happy to not take more than 2 bolt throwers, 2 goblin bolt throwers in my first 1,000 points. Fine. But when you get to something like a chaos army, and you look and see that Demon Prince doesn't have that restriction. You can only have 1 in your army, fine, but it doesn't say anything about you have to wait until you've got like 1,000 points. You can just take a Demon Prince in 500 points. So to say that limitation is there to prevent you from taking stuff that's too hard in smaller point games, or to limit you so that you not having overpowered stuff, too much overpowered stuff in small games, sounds ridiculous to me when you can take a Demon Prince in 500 points and there's no like 1,000 point limit on it. So there you go, that's where I'm at the moment. And the only reason that came up is because I was looking at the Chaos army the other day, making my first 1,000 point Chaos army list. But yeah, so and everybody's got opinions on the internet. I'm fed up with arguing backwards and forwards. So I've, like I say, I haven't done any arguing. I've not argued with anyone on the internet about that, because I know what the answer is going to be. It's going to be a whole bunch of different answers, depending on who you ask. So I'm asking the rules boys themselves. This annoys me that I've got red everywhere. I'll just stick some brown on it and then see if I can get away with it being brown instead of red. Okay, brown is closer to black than red is, that's for sure. Is there any other? There's no other skin, there's no other yellow on this guy, so I might do this bit yellow, I guess. Is there anything else on his? Not especially. On his lance. There we go, you can have this bit around here. Probably would be easier to do it metal, but I'm not sure I'm going to put any metal on these guys. Don't know, I haven't got that far yet. We will have to see. I wondered where his nose had gone for a second then, and realised I was just looking directly at it and it made it look like he didn't have a nose, but there it is, it's like mega long. Okay. And his fork on the end, why not? His fork can be yellow. Yeah, for my next game, once these guys are done, I'm going to have to try them in open order with a war boss in the unit. I'm not relishing the prospect, I'm not going to lie, because I feel like they're not going to do very well. But since having realised, by reading the rules, that I can't put my war boss in the unit if they are skirmishing, because you have to be the same troop type as a unit that you join if they're skirmishers. You can't be different troop type in the I think it's at the sub level. I'm sure when I looked it's at the sub level, so monstrous cavalry can't join a cavalry unit if it's skirmishing. They can if it's open order, but not if it's skirmishing. So that's very disappointing, like super disappointing, like crushingly disappointing, because I was so happy with how they played in the game that I used them. They were amazing, and maybe they were overpowered, but it was very cool and I loved it. and I was so happy. But yeah, I feel like Open Order's just not quite going to be good enough. But we'll see. With Open Order, at least they get their free 90-degree pivot at the end of the... I think it's 90-degree pivot at the end of their move. So it's not horrendous, but it's not as good as 360 line of sight with skirmishers. So yeah, but it'll be good to finally like get some games in and try them out and see if they work or not. I'm not sure what I'll do if they don't work in Open Order. Will my war bosses really play any games if they don't work very well in Open Order? I don't know. I guess the war boss is probably alright. Can become like a war machine hunter or something on his own. But still, it's not as cool as them being like a shock unit, dishing out loads of damage. So I did play a game where I ran them. I had them as separate units. Because if they're separate, they're all skirmishers, right? So the characters are skirmishers and the units are skirmishers. But because they've got random movement, you've got no way of guaranteeing that they're gonna hit the units together, and that's exactly what happened. My squig hopper unit made it into combat, but my war bosses did not, and then the squig hoppers just weren't able to do the damage, and lost combat. So yeah, that's my fear. My fear is that I'll be very sad. Oh, I haven't done their wait, are these already brown? Yeah, I think they are already brown. After these guys are done, I am doing my Mangler Squigs, and I am going to be very happy when my Mangler Squigs are done. Now they have the same issue, that they are not skirmishers, but they're monsters, behemoth, and they get their free pivot at the end, and that's really, to be honest, that's fine. I couldn't really expect them to be as flexible as squig hoppers, really, so no complaints really. I'm hoping they'll be really good. I'm looking forward to them, and if they are good, I'll buy another set. And if my war bosses are good, I'll buy another set of Mangler Squigs and turn them into 2 war bosses. That's what I really want to do. That's why I want war bosses on Squigs to be good. So I just want to make Mangler Squigs up as 2 war bosses on Squigs. But yeah, there you go. I can have my dreams, I just hope they're not too thwarted. Right. I've randomly got Wonder Boy in my head now, Tenacious D. I went on a little bit of a Tenacious D binge yesterday, maybe? Could have been, I think it was yesterday. And I need to watch the Pick of Destiny scene again at some point. I haven't seen it since it came out, I don't think. I may well introduce my kids to it. We'll see if I regret that. I don't know. At least maybe for my daughter. She's 18 next month, so that'll be fine. Probably fine. I am tempted to go and see them. They're in the UK this year. I think it's like May time, so I may see if I can get some tickets. We'll have to see how things play out, but that'll be cool. I think Tenacious D are probably one of the most interesting bands to see live. I feel like you could listen to Tenacious D's albums and watch their like the TV series and Tenacious, the Pick of Destiny, and is it the Apocalypto? I haven't seen them, but the cartoons that they did. I reckon you could watch all that like a I don't know, like a series, the whole thing. Listen to them and watch them and just follow their progression. Maybe even throw some of Jack Black's films in there, like School of Rock or something, and just go on a follow the life of the band. That feels like it could be quite fun. Particularly since they mixed like their albums and stuff that they were doing in and around that. So like after Jack made a whole bunch of films, they did the like the Rage Cage and Hollywood Jack or something like that. Yeah, and that kind of fits around Jack having done a bunch of films, so who knows? That could be quite fun. And I haven't watched Nacho Libre since I was a teenager, so maybe I should do that. Maybe it should be a like Tenacious D / Jack Black sesh, and just like follow all of it through and pretend it's like some epic series. That might be quite fun. I'm trying to think if there's any like Jack Black films I haven't watched. I feel like I've watched most of them, but then that requires knowing all of the ones that exist. There might be like one or two that I haven't watched, but not many. Yeah, I quite like that idea. Might have to do it. Find his filmography and his discography. Do it all in order. Sounds like fun. I used to have quite a lot of Jack Black films on DVD. I do not anymore. I don't imagine that when you clicked on this video to watch Squig Hoppers being painted, you expected a Tenacious D musing session. But there we go, that's what you got. Congrats. I also need to see Kung Fu Panda 4, because that has come out, like a couple of weeks ago? No, I need to go see that. I love a good bit of Kung Fu Panda. Just spotted a hair on here. Can I reach it with these tweezers? Yes, there we go. Probably could have blown that off, it wasn't actually stuck. Oh, I've just spotted he's wearing a cuirass. Oh, none of the others are, so that's good. Yeah, okay, fine. Just this guy. I could avoid painting it, but I feel like I kind of want to paint it. Right, need some more brown. Really, I should paint inside that hole, but I definitely don't want to do that. Because this is going to be yellow, and you'd probably be able to see yellow showing through that little hole there. But yeah, there's not a route I'm going down. I'm really enjoying playing old world games. They are lots of fun. I think our next game, me and my son, is going to be Orcs versus Chaos Nurgle Warriors. We'll do 1,000 points, it'll be our biggest game yet. My son's quite keen to use his Orcs. He hasn't played any games with me, I don't think. He's got his army's like massive now. So he's been, over the last couple of years, he's been painting up Warhammer armies. Yeah, pretty sure he's never played any games with his Orcs. He's got like a couple unit of Orc boys, so one with like 2 hand weapons, one with spears and shields, I guess. He's got a unit of 20 black Orc boys, which previously, like in, actually 7th edition, they had armed to the teeth, where they could just count as using whatever weapons they want. I thought that was a good rule. I'm not sure why they got rid of that, because that was cool. Being able to decide if you wanted to use great weapons or hand weapons as shields or 2 hand weapons. I thought that was a really good rule. But whatever. I know in 6th edition they didn't have that option. I don't know about 8th edition. I feel like they probably did have it in 8th edition. But I don't know that. That's a guess. But I thought that was a good rule. A little disappointed that they got rid of it. But I guess he can just decide whether he wants someone with great weapons or hand weapons. I mean, he probably won't. Wow, I don't know. Actually, maybe we'll take 20 in our game to tell him what he wants to take. 20. Does 20 feel sensible? How should you be using Black Orcs in a game? I would guess their weapon skill 5, their strength 4 would be a guess. Yeah, pretty sure they're strength 4. They're not going to be strength 3 and they're not going to be strength 5 there. So strength 4 sounds pretty safe. What would they be? I'm assuming they've got heavy armor and shields, and 1. I imagine they've got 1 attack. So this is my guess, having not looked at the Black Orc stats, but I'm assuming 1 weapon skill 4 or 5, maybe 5, maybe 4. Strength 4, toughness 4. Yeah, I'm gonna go heavy armor. They might have full plate, but I doubt it. I'm pretty sure it's heavy armor. Yeah, that's probably all the stats that matter. Leadership 7, probably. Not impetuous. Quell Impetuosity, maybe. They used to have Quell Animosity, so maybe they have Quell Impetuosity. And yeah, just the options for the 3 different types of weapons. Yeah, so I think I'd probably go 2-hand weapons. Yeah, get the extra attacks in, maybe. Unless you wanted to go for a long line of them with great weapons. Strength 6, do you get armor? Is it AP 2 with great weapons? Maybe, and armor bane 1. Yeah, could be. In which case, that's not a bad move. I'm gonna need some more brown paint in a sec. Running out quick. Annoyingly, this isn't. I'm gonna have to do another round of basically this entire thing that I've just done, but with the Mournfang Brown as a base. As a base layer. This is my shadow layer. So anything that I miss when painting the next layer, it's got this in the shadow. That's the theory anyway. And then the Mournfang Brown layer is kind of another shadow layer. I just can't help myself. I definitely should have just gone for Mournfang Brown and not done this layer. But I just can't help myself. Okay, is that all painted? I feel like it probably is. Yeah, that's fine. It's just fine. Yep. Don't think I'm going to get this die done with the paint that's left. He also has fluff on. This guy's got loads of stuff going on. Oh, I just realised, did I paint all this string? Yeah, I guess I did. And these 2 guys had cuirasses instead of string. This guy's got a cuirass and string. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, I need some more brown. That was a nice sounding pop. Very satisfying. So I've taken, for my 1000 points of chaos, I've taken a sorcerer on a demonic steed to go in my knight unit, with the intention to cast a couple of different spells on the unit. One is Demonic Vessel, which gives them +1 strength, +1 attacks, and AP, an additional 1 AP. That is really good. Strength and attacks. I mean, that makes them very, very good. However, it is a 10 to cast, which means, and he's level 2, so on average, so he needs an 8, and which means on average he'll be failing that spell. So I don't know. I feel like I probably need a level 3 or 4 wizard at some point. If I decide, if I like it and decide to keep that as an approach, yeah, level 3 or 4 wizard makes it much more likely to go off. If he's a level 3, that means on average he will get the spell off, because on 2 dice your average roll is 7 or more, which is what he'll need. If he gets +3, then he'll get 7 or more, so he'll be far more likely to succeed than fail if he was a level 3. So yeah, so maybe, I mean, that is like such a good spell. +1 strength, that makes the knights strength 5, which, I mean, like in 6th edition they were strength 5, I think. That's what made them particularly good. But you couldn't have the option of lances, so I think that's why they were strength 5. But yeah, strength 5 and an additional attack. So yeah, oh no. I just got brown all over that squig. I really should be cleaning it off and not painting this guy. Alright, let's clean the brown off of the squig. I'm pleased with how the red came out on these guys though, because I was worried it would look rubbish. And it was particularly difficult. I mean, if you've watched the other episode, you'll know. But it was particularly difficult to tell how it was going to look when it was finished, because it was drying a different colour to what it was when it was wet. So that's not ideal, or it's not helpful. It made me be more cautious than I needed to be with painting each layer, and yeah, it was worrying me, but it seems like I had no need to worry. That was good. Pleasant surprise. I'm really happy. Did I really not put enough brown on again? Blimey. And I don't think that was because it was drying particularly so much as I used it. I don't know. Oh, I'm getting brown all over me. It's splurting out the side. That's something I'm not keen on, these new pots. They just like splurt everywhere out the side. So yeah. Bad move. Oh no, I've got it everywhere. That was even worse than just leaving it alone. So, if anyone from Games Workshop is watching, please do something about these pots, because they suck. Worst pots yet, and Games Workshop pots have definitely never been great. I mean, actually, this look at the condition of this paint. It's very good. So yeah, I mean, that's. Anyway, we'll do that later. But I've still got it all over my brush because I didn't actually take it off. Yeah, I think that was probably the best lid. Guess they've tried to emulate it there, but just failed. Yeah, so disappointing. But what you gonna do? I guess you could buy paints that aren't Games Workshop paints, or put them into different pots, but I'm not going to do either of those things really, I don't think. Yeah, I'm just too familiar with Games Workshop paints to bother with different paints, to be honest. Not saying that's the right move, it's just how I'm doing it. This guy has got bare feet, which means I need to paint his feet. Well, I mean, I probably didn't have to paint his feet brown, actually. But there we go. Yeah, particularly as he's not a character. He has got toenails that need painting there. Yeah, I just get carried away, don't I? This is why it takes me ages to paint anything. I was trying to do these guys as quick as possible, and I failed. As soon as I put this brown on, I failed. I should be, yeah, like on my basic goblins, I was just doing, like, sometimes even single layers. Not even 2 layers of paint, just 1 layer of paint. Over a black undercoat, obviously. So, yeah, I lost my way a bit. Alright, let's paint purple. I have to go mining for purple in here because it's all actually no, that's not too stodgy really. I've now got way more purple than I need on my brush. Maybe I use some of this brown. I was going to go from black. Brown? No, that's not. I don't know. It's going to be dark enough. I do need some black. Where's my black? Over here. That is something these new paints do well, is pop. Got a good old pop on them. I'm not sure that was even enough black, you know. Whatever. It'll do. There's not too much. Too much to do, I don't think, although I may have to clean my brush off. And just get it on the ends. Right, where's the gums? Gums. I've picked up the guy who's got the most wet brown on him. Which is the guy I've just done. Is that all the gums on this guy? Fine, that's good. Right, let's put him somewhere far away to dry. These guys are the driest ones. Oh, this guy's gums aren't particularly easy to get to. They're quite difficult to get to, you know. Worst comes to worst, we'll just leave them brown. I don't know if that was a tooth or gum, but it's gum now. I'm genuinely trying to paint these fast, but I'm failing miserably. Just by certain choices that I made and am making as I go. I feel like I was going to paint that as skull, but it's now gone. I was contemplating painting his tongue and stuff inside his mouth, but I feel like that will just be far more effort than it's worth, considering it's really hard to see in there. And maybe I could put a bit of purple on it. The question is, can I be bothered? And if that's a question, the answer should be no. And painting these guys, but this guy is the champion, so I should probably have a little bit extra care and attention on him. I don't know if a brush can even fit in there. Okay, it can. There you go. He's got some purple on his inside his mouth. Just about all the areas I can reach. So I've put some effort in. A minimal amount of effort, but it is recorded on video just in case anybody checks. Actual effort happened. See, what is sad about YouTube is I don't get to see what other people have done, because I've had people message me telling me what their projects are, but you can't like put images in the comments on Facebook, and that's not Facebook, on YouTube, and that's a bit sad, because it'd be cool if you could like add images to comments. But if you're on the Facebook group for Warhammer the Old World, any of the Facebook groups, put show us your stuff, what you're working on. That's good. Also with a wide open mouth. I say wide open loosely, more open than the other guys. And I don't know how he'd ever close his mouth with that mega tooth. This guy's got a bug in his mouth. Now I'm not sure if it's because it's a lure to entice things to jump into his mouth, or if it's something that he's eaten that's like climbing back out his throat, or something that he's in the middle of swallowing. Could be any of those options. Who knows with squigs. Oops. Be interesting to hear from the sculptor what the intention is with the thing in the squig's mouth. Is it lunch? Is it lure? Is it an old lunch coming back? I mean, I can't imagine these guys chew all that much. Mainly bite and swallow. And if it's big enough, or if it's small enough to fit in without any biting, then maybe it doesn't get bit at all. Okay, cool. I think for this, we'll do one more layer, and we'll use a bit of bone to mix in with the purple. And that'll probably do. I feel like I just did this guy. Oh yeah, I did. I was going to start this end. It's like almost not worth it, this highlight. Maybe the previous layer was too dark. Don't know. Or this layer's not light enough. Or both. Could be both. But I don't know, he's got this. Don't know if you can even see that. He's got some purple in his, yeah, you can just about see the purple in his mouth. I mean, really, I should probably do another layer, but I'm not because I'll never get these guys done. I just do multiple layers and everything, and make them look awesome, like too awesome. I just want to get them done now. I don't want to have to spend ages making them mega awesome, which I could do, and just is time consuming. I've got other things I want to paint. I'm trying to remember, like James Watson Games or something like that, painting his Bretonians, said something very similar on his video. It's really hard to not just paint everything awesome and try and dumb down your painting to get stuff done quick. That's the trouble when you're like a perfectionist and you're just like, but I can paint it better and I want to paint it better, but must resist just so that I can get stuff painted. I spend ages painting everything, I'll get very little done. That's why the more I can get away with dry brushing, the better. So my so this army here, this is a subset of a much larger Nurgle army, and everything was dry brushed and inked, and it looks fine, really, doesn't it? But yeah, it's just a case of, I don't know, going through with it, making the decision, biting the bullet, and actually doing it. But I just haven't brought myself to it with the goblins. I mean, okay, so with my spearmen and my archers, I dry brushed. Oh, and actually with these guys, I dry brushed them, right? The black, because I could have spent ages highlighting the black, and I just don't have the time to do that, and I couldn't be bothered with these guys anyway, because it looks fine. And if that looks fine, what else could I be getting away with? Who knows? Probably loads more that I'm not. Okay, there we go. Just the two layers of purple. But it'd be so quick to do another layer. You know, I'm just going to do it. I'm doing one more layer of purple, but this I'm just going to do rapid quick. Just because it could make them look loads better without much effort. Okay, this is a rapid layer to make me feel a little bit better. But I'm not taking a long time. Well, I'm already taking more time than I wanted to. Because it's hard reaching into the gaps. I forgot how hard it was to go into the gaps. See, look, that. I mean, you can't just barely see it with this light and this camera. But it does look better. Right, let's just quickly mark that on in a few places. Right, there you go. That makes you feel a little bit better. Teeth. We're doing teeth next. And we are going Baneblade Brown. And we will also do the claws, if I remember. It's not good enough. Probably put too much water in it now. Right. Feeling like I didn't go dark enough for this layer first. But maybe it'll be fine. I'll do this one squig. And then we'll see. Oops. Smoosh that everywhere. After putting all that effort into the purple, and to just like fail miserably with this layer, it's just done. Yeah, I hope putting the next layer on can actually make this look good, because normally I'd probably do like 3 or 4 layers getting up to Baneblade Brown. I wanted to call it Graveyard Earth then. But I just don't want to do that. So if I can get away with doing this colour and then one other highlight colour, whether that's white mixed in or just go straight for bone. We'll see. Yeah, I mean the teeth actually look alright in this colour. What's the difference between this and bone? Yeah, it's quite a difference. I'm not a huge fan of the bone though, it's a little bit yellowy. Kind of prefer it to be a bit whiter. So maybe I'll mix some white in instead. Oh, what happened there? What did happen there? That's weird. Maybe I dropped something off the paint. Oh, claws. That's where painting the dark brown layer comes in useful, so it's not as stark as if it was black being left in the gaps between the nails. It's taking a little while to dry. I feel like this is probably going to look alright. Okay. Oh, I managed to smear it over his leg, I think. I've got it on my finger. And then I held his leg. And got it painted over his leg. That's not coming off particularly fast. Moving up to more abrasive brushes to try and get it off. Yeah, something I can do and scratch off without getting the scratching right off. No, scratch right off. Never mind. It's fine. No one knows anyway. Apart from everybody who watches this video. Right. Let's mix some white into this and see what the next layer looks like, and see if we can get away with doing that on everyone. That's way too much white. Yeah, that's about what we're after. Yeah, this will look fine then. That's good. Pleased with that. I don't think that tooth was quite dry. I feel like I'm pulling off the previous layer and mixing it in. Okay, yeah, that looks good. At least I'm happy enough with that, I think. Apart from this bit where I've pulled off the layer underneath and it's not covering particularly well. But yeah, that looks good enough, I think, with the two layers. So that's fine. We will do that. Got to do his feet as well. Cool. Alright, that's good. I'm pleased that that worked, because that will definitely save a whole bunch of effort. Okay. Right. That goes done. Let's go for... I keep wanting to call it Graveyard Earth. That's what it used to be. Bainley Brown. And all the boys. This guy's got a big old horn. didn't really understand what was going on with those teeth over there for a minute. It took me a little while for my brain to process it. So if you haven't seen any of my painting videos before, and this is kind of a new thing, you can see that I'm leaving the brown, the dark brown around the edges. I'm not actually painting the entire tooth, but leaving the bits where the teeth would touch. I'm not painting those areas. And remember, that was definitely a new concept for me when I first started. So I was like, but you're painting the tooth, so I'm painting the tooth bone colour. I have to paint the whole tooth bone colour, right? So that was how my brain worked, and so I just painted the whole tooth, and then wondered why it didn't come out and looking anything like the stuff on the boxes or you'd see in White Dwarf. And because your brain fills in the gaps, and what we're doing is we're suggesting that the whole tooth is painted, and we're accentuating shadows which would be there on a real teeth, but we're making them more what's the word, accentuated is not quite what the word that I'm looking for. Stylized, maybe it's stylized. So we're exaggerated, that's the word I'm looking for. We're exaggerating things that are there on real things, but because they're so tiny, and they're representing something much bigger than they are, because obviously these teeth are like a foot long, that tooth. Yeah, it's like I don't know, like this, at the very least, like a massive foot long ruler. Whereas it's really tiny here, which means the everything about it is much tinier than it would be if it was real, and so shadows are much tinier and they're much less pronounced, and so we're painting something that's meant to represent something much bigger than it is, so we have to exaggerate all of the shading on it. So that's what I'm doing basically. And obviously, if you're more familiar with painting, then you'll be well aware of that. But if this is something that's, if you like, relatively new to the hobby, and you've made it this far, like an hour into a painting video, then I apologise I didn't start with that. Just tell you to paint right at the beginning when you're more likely to be watching. But there we go. Who knows, maybe I'll do some like proper tutorial videos at some point. And that's kind of what these are, but not, I guess. I don't really know what these videos are. These videos are me painting my Warhammer, and sharing them with you if you're interested, basically, and also talking nonsense about things like Tenacious D. Although I was going to say I feel like that's the first time I've done such a thing, but I don't think that's true. I'm sure I've been down some rabbit holes that are not even remotely Warhammer related on previous videos. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, so for this layer, as mentioned, I'm just not going all the way to the edges and leaving the deep brown in the recesses. It represents a few things. It represents the shadow, the natural shadow that accompanies anything where it meets something else. there is a natural shadow there. You may not notice it so much, but if you start looking at things where they touch, there is a natural shadow between the two things. And so that's what this is doing. This is representing that and accentuating it for something that is smaller than it should be, making it appear, or giving it the level of shadow that it would if it was full size. And that's what makes them look, that's what actually makes them look so much better. So that's quite a good tip. Like I say, it's certainly something that I never spotted whilst like looking at boxes and stuff. I don't know how I came across it actually. Was it a painting lesson? Could have been a painting lesson at Games Workshop. I don't know if it was. I don't know. I honestly don't know how I came across it. Was I taught it by someone? Did I just have to paint for a really long time and gradually work stuff out? Was it a bit of both? Most likely. There was no YouTube when I started painting, so it definitely wasn't YouTube videos. There was barely any internet when I started. I mean, I feel like the internet... I didn't know the internet existed when I started painting models. The internet certainly wasn't anything that I was aware of. So there you go. That's kind of aging me there. I think the first time I knew the internet existed was going into the school library in secondary school and seeing someone using the internet, but I didn't really know what it was. And I just remember, I don't even know what I remember. It was like a web browser, I guess. I didn't know what a web browser was at the time though. Who knows what it would have been? Probably a Microsoft web browser, I guess, in a school library. There certainly wasn't anything fancy like Chrome or Firefox back then. But yeah, that was like the one look that I got on it. When would I have started using the internet? Did I use it at school? Must have done. Probably used the internet at school. Yes, I definitely did use the internet at school. Okay, so that must have been like, I don't know, year 7 or 8, when I had my first glimpse of the internet over someone's shoulder at secondary school. Maybe year 7. I don't know. But I do remember. So I remember well playing Archmage on the old internets. What can I remember about Archmage? I remember actually making it a bit of a fad at school. That was funny. I certainly didn't intend to, but I definitely got a whole bunch of people playing it. And then it became like loads of people played it at school on their whatever machines they could get access to. This must have been about probably was year 11 actually. Yeah, must have been year 11. So that was funny. Archmage was a game. It was a game where you got like a turn every 5 minutes, and I mean you could save them up. So like overnight while you're sleeping, you accrued a whole bunch of turns, and in each of your turns you spent resources. It was it was basically a text-based game, like a text-based strategy game where you could build up armies and then send them to fight someone else. So I guess it's a precursor to the modern games where you build like Clash of Clans type thing, I guess, which I've never played, but I'm assuming it's something like this, where you build up armies and send them off to fight people and make your land defendable. But it was all text based. But it was loads of fun. At least I thought it was loads of fun, and clearly a lot of other people at school did as well. But yeah, and then it got banned. As is the way. I kind of want to paint this guy's toenails now, because I've got the colour, but I do feel like I'm just going to get green all over it when I paint his feet. But never mind, I'm doing it anyway. Oops, now I'm making a mess. So, what I was saying about leaving the gap, I didn't leave a gap there. There we go. Okay, so that's that one. Oh, I missed this guy's toes. And by this guy, I mean this squig. Hopefully it's one of the easier parts to paint. It doesn't take very long. They've got tiny little toes. I say tiny little toes. They would maul your face with them. As they jump over you and scoff the person behind you. These guys have got like armor bane, haven't they? Armor bane 1, maybe? Maybe armor bane 2? I don't know, I can't remember. But the big cave squigs have got killing blow. That is good. They also have got impact hits, these guys, which is very cool. Oh, I missed the toes on this guy. Come on. Okay, I've got no idea why, but I was suddenly reminiscing of playing intro games at Games Workshop, like running customers through intro games. I've not seen anyone play an intro game at a Games Workshop since I was at a Games Workshop. But I don't know if intro games are even a thing anymore. I have to assume they are, maybe. But I've certainly not been offered an intro game at any time that I've been into Games Workshop in the last however many years. And that surprises me, because when I was a staff member, we had to run an intro game. Every single person who came through the door, we had to offer an intro game to, and try and convince them to play a game, which normally wasn't very hard, because who doesn't want to play games, right? But yeah, to have not even been offered one is quite surprising. But I guess now that they're like one-man stores, maybe they don't have time to do intro games. I don't know. Feels like a bit of an oversight to me. But I had a store, my own store, I would run intro games. Probably. I did want to start my own game store a few years back, just before COVID. Obviously I didn't know COVID was going to be a thing, and then I didn't, because I got offered a job, and it's a very good job I took that job, because if I'd have opened a store, it probably would have gone bankrupt during COVID, when no one was allowed out of their houses to go to places and buy stuff. So yeah, so there we go. That was a close call, I think, because I was quite close to opening a store. And it would have been awesome. I would love to have my own shop at some point. Who knows, maybe that'll be a thing one day. Maybe it won't. Maybe I've got other things to do. Feet. We must remember to do his feet. Like a good little hobbits. See, if I once I get to like if I can get monetized on YouTube, I will get a better internet connection paid for with YouTube, and then do these on live streams, because I think it'll be much more interesting talking to people and responding to comments and stuff, doing these kind of videos. Because there's only so much nonsense I've got going on in my head at any one time, particularly that's relevant for talking about on a video. There is a whole bunch of other nonsense going on in my head that is not relevant. Even less relevant than things like Tenacious D. I just have to make sure I put decent music on in the background. I feel like I'm relatively happy with the music choices that I've had so far. Now I am limiting myself to the YouTube freebies, because I don't want to risk getting videos pulled for putting up ones that, like, I can't have backing music that I can't use. So I'm using the ones that YouTube says, here, use these, and that's what I'm doing. But I've managed to find some good ones so far for the videos that we're doing, or that I'm happy with. Do let me know if you think the music sucks, but I feel like it's good enough. And I was particularly pleased with the music that I found for the battle reports, because that sounds nice and battle-esque, although it is only like a 2-minute loop. My battle reports tend to be like half an hour long, so you have to listen to the same 2-minute loop for like 15 minutes, but you're not there to listen to the music, and it is only in the background to fill the space and add a little bit of atmospheric noise, rather than, it's not like you're listening to it as a piece of music. So I feel like that's okay, and I think it's been doing alright. But yeah, anyway, all that to say, I was pleased with that music. I also am really pleased with the music for my lore videos. And now it's just the lore videos theme music, so that's good. So yeah. Right, one last squig. And that's the first layer of all their teeth on. Just a reminder to myself what they look like when they've got the final layer. Yeah, so we're going from this to this to this. Oops, dropped him. So I think that's a pretty good progression, in fairness, all things considered. So yeah, and these teeth look nice, quite nice and well done by the time they've got their final layer on. So yeah, there we go, I'm happy with that. The next layer after this one shouldn't take as long, because there's a lot less of each tooth to do. Okay, I feel like I need to do a little bit more on his teeth. I was kind of rushing these because I realised I'd slipped and got some on that, on his gum. I just wanted to clean it off quickly. Okay, cool. Great. Right, let's do this. Next layer of teeth. And then it's just the eyes, and the squigs are done as far as I'm concerned. Apart from his tusks and his lip piercing. I might do those tusk caps yellow. I didn't do his toes. What are his toes? Curses. So I haven't finished. Alright, fine, that's good, because I was just about to start on the next layer, so spotted just in time. I need to work out what colour to do these mushrooms. Has to be a colour that looks good with the rest of the model. But ideally something that's not an effort to do. Takes a really long time. if you're painting these squigs, let me know how long it takes you to paint them, because I don't know if this is a long time. I feel like I'm not putting as much effort as ideally I'd love to put into them. I feel like I'm doing them quite quick, but by the same token, I feel like they're taking ages. So, yeah, I'm keen to hear what other people's experiences are. How long is it taking you to paint like 7 squigs? I don't know how many squigs anybody else has painted. But how long does it take you to paint? Am I just a really slow painter? Or, I don't know, do people not generally time themselves and I'm just very conscious that I'm doing a video and it's taking ages? Maybe that's what it is. Right, let's get some white mixed in. Let's get some more of this, I think. Just paint everywhere, splurging out all over the place. Look, splurging out there, splurging out there, splurging out there. Not cool. How did I mix white in before? Because this has not been shaken properly. This actually isn't very close to white at all in this colour. I'm not quite sure if it's the same colour I used like previously. How close is it to that? It is about the same. That's surprising, because this looks really white compared to this, like really white. But actually it's nowhere near white. Look at it. You can see it's not white because it's on a white palette. So yeah, there we go. Apparently it's white enough to make the teeth look white. Yeah, looks fine. I don't know, I like being I like being surprised by stuff like that. Yeah, so that was a much quicker layer, and it looks good. There's mega horn on his nose. I may come back and add another layer to that horn just because it's so big. But it probably doesn't need it. Feet, toes, yes, let's remember. Now is this? I feel like this one is a little bit lighter, but it's probably fine. I don't need to stress about it. Probably could do with being a little lighter, but I just don't. It's fine. Do you like the way I'm telling myself it's fine? I have to convince myself it's fine. It really is fine. It does look fine. No problems whatsoever. Yeah, it just looks fine. I just can't keep layering more on. Doesn't have to have more layers. These layers are enough. Just got my hair coming out of my brush. Can you see that? Yeah, there we go. For a brief second there, I thought these teeth should have like black and rotting inside, but I doubt these teeth. I've got holes in because they've been sucking sweets. I imagine they've got holes just because they've snapped off by trying to bite something like a stone troll and it just being too hard or something. I don't know why I suddenly thought that stone trolls were made of stone, because I don't feel like that actually that hard. They're only like toughness 4. So I don't know what it's been trying to eat, but clearly something that was too hard for it. Maybe like a cannon. Maybe it tried to chow on a cannon, just broke its teeth. Okay, that's my explanation. I've just decided. I did this guy's toes, didn't I? Yeah. Oh yeah, so if you'll notice, again going back to my mini tutorial, I'm only painting like the top half, maybe a bit more, maybe the top. I'm painting more than the top half, but I'm not painting all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, definitely more than the top half. But I'm leaving another band around the bottom in the Baneblade colour, which gives it this kind of gradient. So you've got 3 layers on here. You've got right at the bottom of this tooth, you've got the dark brown, then you've got the Baneblade brown, and then you've got the Baneblade and white mix for the top half. More. And that's what kind of makes it look cool. By this point in the video, you've probably worked that out. But there you go, now I've officially told you, just in case you hadn't. Same with the toes, obviously. Just not painting right up to the base of the toe. Or, actually, not painting right up to the base of the Baneblade coloured part of the toe. I'm a little bit jealous that you get to listen to music and I don't. I'm sitting here in silence. Maybe I should put some headphones on or something. Or think about something else to talk about. Again, one day I dream of doing live streams. The reason I don't do live streams, I've mentioned this in previous videos, is because my internet connection is not good enough to do high def, and painting. A painting video needs high def, in my opinion. So I did, I painted Walloper and his one hit wonder as a live stream, which was cool. But when I went to take a screenshot for the thumbnail, I was like, why is it all blurry? And it's because it was all in standard def instead of high def, and that sucks. That's definitely not ideal for for painting detail, where obviously I imagine you want to be able to see what I'm doing. Particularly, I put a lot of effort into his one hit wonder. I made it a nice crisp looking glass sword, like the ones you get on Elder Scrolls, and you just couldn't see how crisp it was on the video, and that made me sad. But there we go, lesson learned. It's very convenient having a clean brush next to you so that you can wipe off any areas where you make mistakes. Alright, 2 more to do and then we're done with their teeth. And the squigs are looking pretty good with their teeth down. I'll show you. I'll take the camera off and show you in a sec. And by sec, I mean once these guys are done, which is not a sec at all. This squig's really been in the wars. I wonder if that's why he's got these teeth caps on. He's got this massive gash at the front of his face. His teeth have got like gouges out of them. He's got a big old slash down here. See this tooth? I don't know if you can see what I'm trying to do. Yeah, there we go. So it's got like a, I don't know, gouge out of it. So for this one, I'm not painting, I'm leaving gaps either side, so top and bottom of the paintbird area, because that's where it touches the cap. Same for this one. Toesies. Toesies. That's what they call them, right? One left, come on. Very exciting. Oh, I should have done the horns on this guy's hat. I'll come back to it later, probably. Sorry, I just realised it wasn't on screen then. Literally the worst kind of video ever, where you can't see anything. I don't know how much of this video I've done if you've not been able to see anything. Apologies. I've got too much on my brush, which is why I'm not doing the other teeth just yet. I was about to wash it and then I was like, you know what, I can just use that paint on his toes. Or should I say toesies, as we've established? Toesies. Oh yeah, his tail's got a chunk taken out of it as well. It really has, and a slash down the side. He's really been in the wars, this guy. Oh, actually, it was the other guy. He's still got his tail. Yeah, maybe I really don't need to get down in there if I can't see it. Can't see it, don't paint it. Right. Cool. Hooray! That's all their teeth done. So these guys, yeah, with their gums and their teeth, looking pretty cool now. Love it. Love it. So, guess we should do their eyes next. Here we go. Green eyes or like orangey yellow eyes. Maybe green. My green is up here. Yeah. I quite like the idea of yellow eyes actually. Yellowy orangey eyes. Let's do that. So how are we gonna do that? I feel like something like, I've got too much stuff in my hands, something like this progression. Maybe, that's not shown properly, is it? I don't know, maybe it can't show. Mornfang brown, leprous brown, Avalon sunset, Shanty bone, maybe. I don't know if that'll be orangey enough. Maybe I need some sort of red colour. Let's give it a go on one arm. That's probably too many. Maybe I should literally just do Avalon sunset and get over it. I can't. We're doing Mornfang brown first and then Avalon sunset, and that'll do. Probably do. I'm just going to be here forever on this, right? But then it won't look orangey, I don't think. Maybe if I go right into the recesses with this, that'll make it look more orangey. This feels risky because I don't really like going right into the recesses with such a light colour. Hope you appreciate this risk that I'm taking. See what it looks like. I almost kind of want to use my leprous brown on it first. I mean, it's like nothing, is it? This is a nice kind of orangey colour. How long is it going to take for that to dry? Probably too long. I'm going to pull it off, aren't I? Yeah, I'm going to pull it off. Putting that on. Dry quicker. That's a command. Okay. After I do the eyes, I think I will do their skin. So I think that's the next thing. And then do their armour. I could do, while I've still got some brown wet, I could do this guy's ribbony bits. How much do I want to do till I just go straight? Yeah, I don't like it, but I'm doing it. I feel so light. Just this is pure bane blade. Down on his ribbons. I'm triggering myself a bit here doing this. Because I just want tons of layers of shade on this, but I just can't. I can't be doing that. I'll be here forever. I'm basically doing the same approach that I've just done on their teeth. That's the idea anyway. Except I'm not leaving a dark line between each bit of wrapping, which I kind of, that's what's triggering me really, is that it's such a light colour between each piece of wrapping. There we go. I probably should do all their ropes as well. Yeah, while I've got it, let me do their ropes. For this, I'm just suggesting that I've painted it all by just touching the highlights and apparently getting some on the cloak as well. It's a little bit of an obstacle course painting under this camera. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm just touching on each of the raised areas, and then it makes it look like I've painted the rope around his waist. So there we go. I'll just quickly do that on the others that have got it. He doesn't have it. He's done. He doesn't have it. I don't think this guy has it either. That's just these three. So that's a relatively quick process. I'm also out of paint down there. I've got a little, I don't know if you can see it, but at the top of my brush, I feel like there's a little bit, a little knob on the end that's causing me to mess with my painting, and that annoys me. Yes, I'm just barely touching the top of each of the bumps to get a little bit of paint on there. This is how I painted the guys that I batch painted, my archers and spearmen. That's what I did on them, and it looks fine. So I'm very happy to do it again for these guys. Okay, great. What was I doing? The eye on the squig. Right, so I was going to put some of this on. Let's dry. Leprous brown. I don't know what the equivalent colour to leprous brown is in the new paints. But this is a lot brighter than I wanted. I definitely wanted it to be darker. Oh dear. Got a bit of fluff in his eye. That is one shiny eyeball. Yeah, probably should have done a mix. Yeah, it's way too shiny, isn't it? I do not like it. Right. This just makes it a much longer process than I had hoped. That's probably what I should have gone for done that. That's better. Okay, that is better. Now let's put some yellow in there. So that's not dry yet. I'm so impatient. It's got some fluff in it, weirdly. Okay, yeah, that looks better than it did a minute ago. Now it just needs like a tiger slit eye down the middle. Okay, cool. So that I'm happy with that. So it's the Mournfang brown, followed by a leprous brown and Mournfang mix, followed by the Everland sunset. Whether all of them will need to go through all that, to be honest, I doubt, because most of the rest are teeny tiny eyes. Really teeny tiny, so tiny I can't have much paint on my brush. It'll go over it. So just replace it with bits on the end of the brush. Yeah, these are just going to get a single bit of yellow in, I think. This guy's got a million eyes. By million, I mean like 5. About the same, aren't they? Did like a practice eye on the one guy who wasn't representative of the rest of the group by any stretch. He's all got tiny little digits. Oops, just smeared it all in his eye and completely missed his actual eyeball. Let's do this guy's eye pupil. I'll do on it. Yeah, that's good. Looks freaky, although he's looking up in the air. Probably should have made him looking more down. No one's going to care. No one is going to care except me every time I look at him. Which isn't probably going to be all that often. Okay, now he's looking down a bit more. Just a little bit more. Not much more. Just a little bit more. That's fine. Right. He's got his big old eye. Right, let's pop some yellow in these other guys and see if we can make them not look rubbish. These guys are not getting pupils in their eyes. Lucky they're getting it. Lucky they're getting any eyes at all. Especially this guy being greedy with his eyes. I love that these guys are plastic and I can just knock them about. I do have a whole unit of metal squig hoppers, which just over there, and they are not going to be so forgiving. There we go. But they are going to be much easier to paint, I think, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, they're going to be a bit easier. They've got less details on than these guys. They don't have, like, mushrooms and stuff all over the bases. They don't have fancy armour. So, it's going to be a bit quicker. Maybe not much quicker. I don't like messing and making a mess, but I do like that if you clean it up quick enough, you can rectify it quite easily. Yeah. Okay, cool. So these guys now have their eyes done as well. Yeah, they look good with their eyes done actually. Come on, have a look at their eyes. Beady little eyes that these squigs have got on their faces. Yeah, very good. Okay, I'm very pleased with how these squigs come out. That guy's just got such a massive eye compared to the others. Oh no, now I've touched my screen, which means it's probably going to stop auto-focusing. Is it going to focus on that automatically? No. Look at that. Alright. Alright, well I'm going to take that as a sign that, that I'm done for this episode. Didn't get quite as far as I was hoping to get, so we get the gums, the teeth, and the eyes, and their toes done. And there's Mega Eye over there. We did kind of a base coat of brown on all of the armour and skin as well. Oh, and I never actually finished this guy. You know what, let's just quickly do his straps, I think. And there's his toenails. Alright, let's quickly do his straps and toenails. And then I think we'll call it a night. Yeah, this is just about wet enough to use, I think. Just a bit more water in there. Probably too much water. Yeah, I'm almost 100% sure that's too much water now. Enough water for toes, but too much water for straps. Oh well. See if I can paint these straps. So basically, my intention is to paint and leave the gaps the dark colour. Just paint the raised areas with this. But who knows if that will actually work. And by work, I mean be successful. I feel like we're doing it. Trouble is, he's got a face in the way, which means in order for me to be able to see what I'm doing, I'm pretty sure you can't see what I'm doing. Maybe you can. I'm I'm not sure how good this looks. Slightly too dark, I think. Dark? Too light? No. I think the base layer, what I'm trying to say is I think the base layer is too light. Which I knew was a risk of me, well, was a risk. The base layer was too light a layer for this, but I don't know, maybe that looks alright. Where is it? Yeah, maybe that. You know what? Maybe that looks fine. I think it does. I think it looks fine. Okay, cool. That's him done. Right, there we are. So I think that is these guys. As much as I'm getting done on them today, it's getting late. I'm getting tired. Yeah, I'll call that there. That's my thing. There we go. So yeah, there we are. We've got, like I say, their teeth, the gums, the eyes, the toenails, and a brown layer on everything. And yeah, and here's Mega Eye. That looks alright. Cool. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Hopefully that was interesting. And catch you again in part 3, where we will definitely get these guys finished. It's just their skin and their armour, any little bits that I decide to do as well, and their bases. And then they're done. So the bit that's going to take the longest time that's left is their armour. But yeah, cool. Oh, and the mushrooms. Ooh, yeah, but mainly armour. Cool. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and catch you in the next video.